Okay, I'm in the wool fill hammock, and it's not going to be to everyone's taste, but before we start with the rest of the episode, I want you to know that this is an experimental prototype and the scope to make this a lot smaller. Hi, it's Bex here from channel bexbugoutsurvivor, and today in the pack is an ultra lightweight hammock system for bitterly cold weather, and it is extremely lightweight. There are a few downsides, however, and one of the downsides to it is it's quite bulky, as you'd expect something for sub-zero hammocking to be. So there is volume there. I've got it hold all, and it takes up most of that. But I have got a blanket in there for a top layer and a basher or a tarp, something like that in one of the pockets. I'm using one of the DD range for the hammock, and it has a dual layer that you're meant to put your roll mat underneath. But I thought it doesn't always have to be a roll mat that goes in this dual layer. I'm sure I can think of something better to put in that. So that's exactly what I did. It's incredibly lightweight. Even someone like me with my famous glass back can carry this. It's contained in my 100 litre snug pack kit monster, and as you can see, it takes up most of the volume, a good 80 litres, but there's a way around it. I've got my top blanket here as well. Okay, it's just a case of digging it out, stringing it on a couple of trees. So I've used a woolen insulation, and as we know, wool is a brilliant insulator, especially in a hammock and for camping. One of its downsides, of course, is its volume, but I'm not too bothered as long as I've got a good night's kip for just a few 100 grams for the whole system. I'm laughing. There you go, it's as simple as that. And here's the hammock. It already has the insulation built in. I've put it there, it's an easy make. So there's no going about putting an under blanket on or finding your sleep mat. I just get in that. All I've done is put the suspension on each tree. It's ready. So I enter it as usual. The insulation is built in, and I can still use the bug netting. So all I need is a top blanket on me. I've got one in the pack, and all I'm using is tarp, top blanket, and the actual hammock itself, which is pre-filled, pre-stuffed. I'm using something called cozy wool. It's like a loft insulation. I actually used 1.5 inch thick cozy wool. Like I said, it's a loft insulation, and I'll show you how I put it all together. It's something I did a couple of years ago making this, but I've never showed you guys. We've got a real blast of cold coming in from Russia. It's called the Beast from the East, and temperatures are set to plummet here in the UK. Certainly below zero. We're in for the big freeze, and if this is any good at all, I'm gonna give it its maiden night out when it's at its coldest. Anyway, I'm gonna dive in my pack and show you my top blanket. Okay, this is my top blanket, fleece material that you'd have at home. You'd either throw it over your bed like a bed throw or over your sofa, and that's all I use as a top layer blanket. and it is incredibly warm. Well, the DD front line also has a dual layer underneath, and this is the stuff here. It's called Thermofleece, cozy wool, and the dimensions I have 1 metre by 5.7 metres. There's 2 rolls in there, and I have some decorators spray adhesive, and there's a good loft in this, fingers depth. First of all, I'm just going to put 1 layer in and glue it into the bottom. This is going to take maybe 2 of these sections to span right across. So here's the envelope where we need to put the wool insulation. Well, the cheap fleece just needs cutting to the shape of the hammock, with the suspension at its tightest. Now it's time to glue it in. Not a lot of this left. Okay, there's 1 in. Let this set for a minute. I'll put the other in, then we'll hang it up. I'm going to give the top layer of this fleece a spray, then bring back the bottom of the double layer with the DD front line and actually fix it into place full time. Well, it only took about an hour, and very easy job. Have at least 1.5 inches thick insulation, and it comes all the way up, well past shoulder to shoulder. Inch and a half thick insulation, because what we got is a lot of volume of kit, but it is for sub-zero hammock hanging, and it's lightweight. It's just not compact, but it fits in my 100 litre snug pack hold all, and it does me. I can carry a winter setup that is lightweight. If you want to go lightweight with your hammock, this is the way forward. If you're one of these, you want to conserve space and volume in your pack, there's no need to worry about it. It all rolls into, I'd say I could get this into a 60 or 70 litre dry bag, and it's so light I can carry it on my Bergen under the lid like that, so I still have all the space in the Bergen if that's how you want to roll. So I'm quite happy just being like this. There you go. I like the fact I can just put the suspension around 2 trees and dive straight in and get warm straight away. There's nothing warmer than wool. Oh. And this is warming up straight away. Okay, I know this episode isn't going to be for everyone, but you got to bear in mind it's just a prototype, and the scope for lots of improvement, including getting the smaller thickness of cozy wool, and like I said before, that'll halve your pack volume, and I'm sure 3/4 inch insulation would work just as well. I only used the 1.5 inches because it's all I had to hand and it was free. Until next time, take care of yourself, and I'll see you out there.